what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. We are in Dusty, Arizona, but we're here for a very important reason. It's the media launch of this vehicle right here. This is it. This is the all-new 2022 GMC Hummer EV truck. But before we get into what GMC is calling a new class of truck known as the super truck, let's talk about what's going on here. GMC, General Motors Truck Company. It makes sense that if GM was going to have a truck built that was electrified, that GMC would be the first to bring it to market. And with this Hummer EV truck, they are taking a lot of that technology, but kind of bringing it in a different place. Let me explain. You hear Hummer, you might think of the Hummers of the past, the H1, the H2, the H3. This is not a branded Hummer truck. Hummer is no longer a auto manufacturer, and that's been like that since 2010. But GMC saw an opportunity to use that Hummer name and really bring a lot of excitement, not only based off of a name, but also with the other aspects, including 1,000 horsepower. Now, with this being their first electric vehicle, they kind of wanted to just throw everything that they could at it. So like I was saying, 1,000 horsepower, 3 electric motors, and a ton of other goodies that I can't wait to tell you about and definitely show you. Now, in the market, of course, when anybody says electric vehicle, they think of Tesla. Well, we can't even talk about them because they don't have that Cybertruck. Yes, they showed it off, but it has not gone into production. It's been delayed until Jiminy Christmas, so nobody knows. But what I want to find out is there is another new kid on the block, Rivian, and their electrified truck. I want to show you all the ins and outs of this Hummer EV truck, but also find out how does it stack up against the Rivian, and is this, the Hummer EV truck from GMC, the super truck to buy over that other electrified pickup truck? So let's go ahead, let's dive into our tech bronze trim with the first edition of this Hummer EV truck and see, is it the super truck to buy? Right off the bat, the color. I hope you like white because all first editions come exactly the way you see it with that sparkling white paint job. Now, what's interesting is there's some other trim pieces you could change up. We have the tech bronze color trim, and I'll show you some of the accent points on it. Now, at the front of the business, it screams Hummer. But what I like about it is that it doesn't scream retro military Hummer. The whole idea behind the exterior and interior design was, believe it or not, the lunar moon. And you could really see this if you close your eyes and kind of think about this vehicle driving through the Sea of Tranquility on the moon. This is what my imagination would say it looks like. So at the front of the business, you got, of course, all LED lighting. I love the way they have the signature H within the headlight, within the lighting housing here. You have your LED turn signals, LED daytime running lamps, and they have that separate pod for your LED headlights. You'll notice the metallic gray finish. This is not that carbon flash that they use on a lot of Chevrolet products. This is actually a metallic finish. And then coming across the front, metallic gray, coming across the front, the way they did the signature lighting with the Hummer name and all of the separate elements to it, it really looks like a Hummer grille from the original H2s and H3s. And remember, there's no internal combustion engine, so that was a challenge to be able to create this. Now, as we drop down, like I said, that metallic gray finish, you'll notice the GMC badge, which is interesting. They actually have the Hummer name bigger than the GMC badge. Normally on other GMC trucks, GMC is massive, but they didn't want to go that route. Now, with the tech bronze color trim, we have massive tow hooks. Normally these are black. Guess what? This is tech bronze color. I like that addition. Coming across the lower section, we do have a forward-facing camera, but guess what? You got over a dozen cameras on this vehicle, even underneath with full washers. And speaking of underneath, a total of 5 skid plates, metal skid plates all the way below, and rock sliders to protect the underside belly of this massive beast. If you're wondering, well, Joe, how much ground clearance do we have? 10 inches of ground clearance. We have air suspension, and there's a special mode to get extra height, that kind of, bringing out that extra height of it. It's gonna give you an additional 6 inches. It's called excavation mode. And that's gonna get you unstuck from maybe some of those bigger rock mounts, because this thing is really a beefy kind of truck. But I love the skid plates, that extra ground clearance. You also have 4-wheel steering and the crab walking feature, which allows you to go side to side. But you'll notice the nice simple elements of design with this whole airflow for the cooling of the Ultium battery pack that is in the bottom. Lower the center of gravity. It's gonna be one of those trucks to remember. Now, when you get up onto the hood, remember, this is a front mounted trunk. So we'll be able to store things in here, and we will show you a little later how this opens up. You'll notice on the Tech Bronze trim, we got a little bit of black, a little bit of bronze, Hummer H with the EV badge, and then you have your metallic gray finish on those back portions. You'll notice the LED exterior lights required by the Department of Transportation because of the sheer massive width of this vehicle. Even the way they notched out these lower corners gives it that off-road look, but also gives it that clearance and ability to go through the heavy duty stuff. Now, speaking of heavy duty, we have these 18-inch wheels. These wheels are unique to the Tech Bronze, and they're not bronze, they're actually silver. But I do like the design over the standard wheel that comes on the first editions. So 18-inch, 35 series off-road Goodyear Wrangler tires, gonna be able to grapple just about through anything. We got the sidewall defense that literally makes rocks bounce right off. Look at that. Proof is in the pudding right there. Boom, bounce right off. But you're basically looking at 305 on the width, 70 series sidewall, and then check out our suspension. There's our air suspension, massive upper and lower control arms, and of course we have one motor up front with a mechanical locking diff, and then we have the virtual lockers for the 2 motors out back. You'll also notice how we have the unique GMC style of the fender opening, that squared off kind of angular look. And I like the way that they did the flared fenders in that metallic color. Now, coming down the side, we got our Hummer EV badging, Tech Bronze. And then along the bottom, this is gonna be that Ultium battery pack. Something new. It's got 24 different modules all in the bottom here. And what's great is they're gonna be able to use the same platform, actually shorten it just a little bit for the Hummer EV SUV. You got your stationary running boards, which are specific to the Hummer EV truck. And if you're wondering, well, are they gonna catch on anything? They're nice and high. They allow you to use and to get in, but you're not gonna get them caught on anything, which is fantastic. And you got your rock sliding protection. I love the way they got the rectangular shaped mirrors, just like the old Hummers, your 360-degree cam, and then we have our transparent infinity roof panels. Remember, these come off, and then you could store them right in the front mounted trunk. You could have it as a T-top, or you could take out the center bar and make it a full out Targa, plus remove the rear glass as well, and have that open air experience that you're not gonna have on any kind of other truck. You'll notice the beautiful flared fenders. I like the way, like I said, it's not military retro, it's lunar moon style, and you can just see the beautiful shapes, angles, flared fenders and all. Let me show you something amazing. We have our bed open up here, but watch this. We actually have an electric tonneau cover. Actually standard on the first edition, electric tonneau cover, slides all the way back. You then hit it again, and it will open back up. Nice one-touch operation. That's what I'm talking about. Now, if you're wondering, where do I charge this? There is your charge port door open. Of course, we're using that new 800-volt technology. We'll talk more about that in a few seconds. Close it up and then come around the back. I like the way they did the H, once again, with your LED taillights. Of course, you're gonna get the Tech Bronze massive tow hooks. Get that Rivian truck, You could pull it right out of the mud, right out of the dirt. And what I like about the Hummer EV truck is that style to it compared to the Rivian. I think that's really where there's a lot of things that pop out to me. On the back portion, you're gonna get LED third brake light. You see your extra cameras for the digital rearview mirror and everything else. And this is something that your Rivian is not gonna be able to do. First of all, we got our Hummer in Tech Bronze. Look at that, on throttle. You know this is a Raity's Rides edition GMC Hummer. We got our GMC badge, but if you're ready for this, check it out. So we do, of course, have that folding tailgate that you're not gonna get on your Rivian. This right here really makes it that vehicle of the extra choices. So we drop it once again. Look what we got. The kicker, rear bed audio sound system, all your controls. And then of course under here, we got a USB-A and an aux jack. The only zonk is that you gotta be careful getting in and out because you might actually live up to the name and kick these and dent the speaker grill covers in. Now, the last part of this, which I think is ingenious, but yet so simple, is the handle. When you're getting in and out, just pull yourself in, and then you're king of the world. You could run over that Rivian truck and then get in your bed and just scream, yes! But why don't we go ahead, let's get to the interior because I want to talk about numbers of this truck, but I also want to show you the new technology with the Hummer EV truck. All right, guys, we're inside this 2022 first edition GMC Hummer EV truck. It's kind of crazy to think that it's been since 1992 when the Hummer really hit the streets of the United States. And Hummer went from 92 all the way to 2010, but now it's a GMC Hummer, and it's got some new competition coming from Rivian, coming from Ford with the Lightning, even its own sister brand, the Chevrolet Silverado EV, and of course, maybe one of these days, who knows when, the Tesla Cybertruck. Now, I know you're at that point where you're like, Joe, I'm loving this truck so far. It really is getting me excited about EVs. I like the idea of owning a super truck, but it's got to have a super price. How much is it? MSRP for this first edition is right around $110,000. Before we get to the door panel, remember, we're talking about 3 electric motors, 4-wheel steer, crab walk, watts to throttle freedom, WTF mode, and then of course, or watts to freedom, I should say. I'm thinking of like on throttle, plus excavation mode and all the other technology. 1,000 horsepower. Let's see how it stacks up to the door panels. I like the styling. They really, like I said, went with that lunar moon theme. You got the two-tone coloring with the first edition, the lighter white with the darker black. Take a look at the door handle though. You're gonna notice that tech bronze color. For the first time in a long time, they actually brought exterior colors and exterior ways of doing the colors to the interior. Not only with the door handle, that center section there, you got a nice large door pocket for a full bottle of Tang and a container of some space astronaut ice cream. Look at the speaker grill cover. Not only are those Bose speaker grill covers, because we have the full Bose sound system, that is a map of the Sea of Tranquility. And wait until we get to the business end. I want to show you something special when we're talking about moon exploration. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, you'll have that oh crap handle and also a nice handle to pull yourself in as a passenger. And then we have more of the tech bronze finish. The way they did the style on the AC vents, do you see the H? That sideways H, it's there. All the touches really thought out. And what's great is that the team that designed the exterior also designed the interior. That's not a norm. You do have the first edition badging, more of that tech bronze finish. And the way that they did the tech bronze is actually with like a chroming treatment like they do to exterior chrome. I like the white trim. And then of course we got infotainment. Now I'm going to go back to home here. So we could start from home base. This is a 13.7-inch infotainment system. Obviously, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. We could go into energy and immediately figure out, set up our schedule, our energy usage. You got your one throttle application, which you could turn on and off very easily. You got your icons, your widgets over here. Watch this. I could actually move them around. So if I want to have the ability to go into my Hummer settings, EV truck settings faster, I could have it there. It's showing that we're unlocked on both the rear, the rear and the front diffs. Remember, we have that virtual rear locker and the mechanical one. You could actually check your tire pressure, but watch this. You have the ability to raise and lower your air pressure in your tires right from the command center here. This is the type of technology that GMC is bringing to the table. That's just half of it. Look at the pitch. Don't be a pitch. You can see how much pitch there is, how much roll. Keep on sliding. You got your maximum drift angle with that rearward steering, but we could keep swiping with all. Look, we can even see our elevation here in Arizona. Love having all of this right at the fingertips. Cameras, ultra vision. We got 18 cameras, 360 out the front. We could look down at the nose. You could look down at the rear. We could then look down the side. We could look at the ground and count all of the rocks. You could then keep working it, and now we're underneath. Check it out. Look at this. I'm moving the steering wheel. There are our front tires moving and the rear because we got four-wheel steering. We keep going. All those, and there's washers on these cameras so that you can get the camera nice and clean. There's the bed to see if anybody's sleeping in the back of your Hummer with that carbon composite bed. Nice and strong, durable, and rust resistant. But wait, look at what else we have. We have our modes. Designed like something from Gran Turismo. So you have my mode. My mode is going to be exactly how you want to set it up. But if I keep twisting the knob, we have off-road mode. Look at the terrain. They really went that extraterrestrial kind of direction with the Mars set up there. Here we are on the moon in terrain mode. We got tow and haul. What are we towing? We're towing this freaking rocket that we're going to launch into space. Keep twisting it. And then obviously we have normal mode. In normal mode, you can see we're in the Sea of Tranquility, driving around, and there's that Hummer. Really great technology. Let me show you another thing. Crab walk. How do we do it? You're going to hold down the button on the knob. You get the music. You get the theatrics. Watch it full. Look at the crab walk decal. Logo set up. Now we're going to be able to go diagonally with our driving. Very, very intuitive. Very easy to use. Throw it into reverse. And then you got the same thing with all your cameras as you're backing up. So they did a great job with the technology by far. Look at our toggle switches. Very, very like sort of like spaceship setup with our toggle switches. You have the ability to do your blower fan. We got dual climate control. You don't actually touch this. You touch the toggle. How about seats? We got heated seats. 3 stages of heated seats. 3 stages of cooled seats, ventilated seats. So they got you covered there. Here's the ability for your heated steering wheel. Virtually lock the rear diff. Lock both. Of course, shut off the traction control. You can see how they did the AC vents with the H. And then what do we have in our center stack? First of all, check out all of the lunar rocks that you could put down here. Easily put your Texas Instrument, maybe your old copy of that Atari game E.T. that's worth billions of dollars now, which was one of the most hated games in all of the universe of space history, E.T. for the Atari. You could put that down there, or you could put a purse, a merce, a sack, a satchel, even some space boots. Put them down there. I like the way they went flat black and lots of doors. Open up door number 1, USB-C, USB-A, and wireless charging. Close that bad boy up. This is going to be the electric shifter for your direct drive transmission. Open up this door, 2 cup holders, and look, we actually have a Hummer GMC specific key fob. even remote start, yes, on an EV. There is our mode selector knob that I was playing with, showing you the different modes, showing you crab walk. You got a nice little place here for your cell phone so it doesn't slide around. My one zonk for the interior is this material on the armrest. It's a little kind of like space sandpaper. I guess the great news is if you got like a dried callus or something, you can kind of sand it down and get it nice and polished. Sort of like as if you were polishing a moon rock. But other than that, open it up. Whoa! Look at this. Think about how many Reese's Pieces E.T. could put there for his next trip home. We got a 12 volt and enough room in there to put your signed space rock that you got when you were a kid from Neil Armstrong. How cool is that? Not Lance Armstrong. We know what he did. Neil Armstrong, that man to land on the moon, the first man on the moon. That's the man I want to be able to put a lunar rock signed by him in our Hummer EV truck. And then the seats. I do like the material on the seats. You would think that this is going to hurt your back. You don't even feel it. So I like the way they have those touches. The two-tone electric assist for the passenger and the driver. We got those killer infinity roof panels, which you're just going to take off by just taking these levers and then pulling them out. Easy, 1, 2, 3. And then you throw them up front. And then we have, last but not least, that digital rearview mirror. The resolution is so clear, you could see space if you direct that camera towards the dark sky. But why don't you go ahead, get your butt over here. I want to show you behind the digital gauge cluster in this Hummer EV truck. All right, guys, business time. I just want to show off just how cool the doors are, not having the frame all the way around the window opening. Really gives it that extra cool feature. And just from a styling standpoint, they really, like I said, hit the nail on the head with the Hummer style, but bringing it into the future. Now, let me show you something as you come into the business end. There's our map of the Sea of Tranquility, and if you notice this little footprint there, that is where Neil Armstrong put his foot down. The first step for man, the first step for mankind, that's where it happened in the Sea of Tranquility on the moon. Plenty of headroom in here, even with the shorter window and these beautiful Vista roofs. The clear Vista roofs really give it a nice open airy feel. You got all your seat controls, easy to get to. Of course, the lower lumbar is fantastic. Steering wheel, we got Super Cruise. So you'll notice, and what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna shut this off, and then I'm gonna turn it back on. It does tell you how much charging you have left when you shut the vehicle off, and your current range, which is kind of nice to let you know as soon as you get in. You fire it back up, you're gonna get some chimes, some graphics. You'll notice the colors on the steering wheel here, letting you know that you got that Super Cruise feature, that semi-autonomous driving feature. We got the ability to adjust your regen braking. Obviously, electric tilting and telescoping steering wheel. I like the way it's got the HEV badging. Everything else is flat black. And then the dash. Nice large size, over 12 inches. You actually got a baker's dozen in inches. And what's nice is, not only does it give you the important information, you could actually change it up. So watch this. I'm gonna be able to go into, say, sport, push the button. Now we got a different setup. So you could actually change the personality. Watch all the off-road information. Remember how I showed you pitch and roll? Important on your off-roading. You could go digital, which really gives it a whole nother realm of layout with the charging, your range, and the whole 9 yards. And it's got that lunar map background, which is really wild as well. But like I said, all this comes out. But why don't we go ahead, let's get into the back seat and see how your astronauts, your fellow astronauts, are gonna like doing watts to freedom in this Hummer EV as they sit in the back. All right, guys, backseat time. Now, before we get into the touches back here, let's talk a little bit about numbers, a little bit more. So we have the 3 electric motors, 1,000 horsepower combined. You're looking at 1,200 pound-feet of torque combined with those 3 electric motors, 2 at the rear, 1 at the front. Now, you might be saying, well, Joe, 1,200, that kind of sounds less than what I saw in the Hummer EV truck commercial. I saw 11,500 pound-feet of torque. How much, where'd that come from? Because that's a lot. Well, guess what? 1,200 pound-feet of torque, That's going to be the actual motor torque. The wheel torque is 11,500 pound-feet of torque. So it is legit. It's just a different way to measure torque. Instead of coming off the motors, it's off the wheels. But let's see what we have back here. On top of that, you're also going to get, of course, range. On one single charge, 329 miles. And with the 800 volt fast charging, you could actually do 100 miles worth of charging in about 12 minutes. So to put that into connection with fast charging. But let's see what we got back here. Nice large pockets. You could easily put a couple maps of the galaxy, maybe even a mirror, so you could talk to yourself as you're looking into the Watts to Freedom mode. That's really where you want to look at yourself, because you're going to make faces that only the astronauts make when they get launched into space. Backseat command center, you got your rear AC vents, 3 stages of heated seating. Of course, you got your controls for the rear AC. I could turn it on and off very easily. USB-C, USB-A. Our rear AC, there's the H again. We got some more of that lunar map design. Put 4 space Twinkies. And then down below, what do we got? We do have a home power source. So ET phone home, you could plug in your Texas Instrument right there. I got plenty of room. I'm 6 feet tall. I do not feel cramped whatsoever. Of course, we have our two-tone with the nice soft armrests, 2 cup holders. Flip it back. We got that smartly engineered, first on a GM product, rear storage. Think about the Twinkies you could put back there. Easily a box. And if you need more, they give you more. Tons of storage underneath the seat as well. Plus you got the Bose subwoofer that's going to dump as you're doing your tunes going down the road. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to that front mounted trunk, also known as a Frunk, and see what we can put. All right, guys, another great part of this Hummer EV truck, of course, is the front mounted trunk. You hit the button underneath the bumper, it's all electric assist. Now, before you freak out and say, Joe, where's the room? Why is there no room? These are the hard plastic holders for the infinity roof panels. So you actually have them numbered, each one being a different shape from front to rear. And then this will make sure that those infinity roof panels don't get all scratched and broken. Do these have to stay in here? No. Of course, if you wanted to roll the dice, take the roof panels off, and then go for a drive, and if it rains, and you don't care, then that's fine. You won't have to worry about it, and you could use this as storage. But very ingenious setup to have that kind of flexibility. But we hit the button. Now I know you want to live up to what was written on that tailgate, on throttle. We will be going on throttle. We will be getting that first driving experience, real world, off-road driving experience. Mark your calendar, set your watch, tell a friend, phone a friend, find a friend. It's going to be Thursday, April 7th at 9 a.m. Eastern time. So if you're at work, the best thing to do is to fool around, don't do your work, but watch Raiti's Rides and watch the full on-throttle separate review of this beast known as the GMC Hummer EV truck. But with that being said, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's wrap it up from Arizona. All right, guys, it's been one heck of a hot, dusty kind of day out here in Arizona, but I definitely want to thank the whole GMC team for allowing us access to this media event and this very special vehicle known as the Hummer EV truck. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Is this the super truck you would buy, or would you buy a Rivian? Put that in the comment section. Remember, Thursday, April 7th, 9 a.m. Eastern time. I want to see you back here for that on-throttle action. But until we meet again, if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raiti's Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Raiti's Rides merch. Got to give it up to the hardest working woman in the universe, working that camera like a champ, because she is a champ. Hashtag best in the biz. Thank you, Lori, for all that you do. Put some love for her in the comment section, all of you. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.